Is your child a natural-born entertainer? Now is their chance to join the most talented youth dance crew in the Mid-South, the Blue Bunch. The Blue Bunch entertains Grizz Nation with their energetic dance routines and even have the opportunity to collaborate on performances with leading artists in the entertainment industry. Kids ages 7 to 17 are invited to show off their skills and personality for their chance to join the next generation of NBA entertainers. Open auditions are Saturday, June 28th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Good defense. Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting. That's so show. Let's go.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Are you ready? Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
The First Ladies of FedEx Forum, the Grizz Girls, are known across the NBA for setting the standard for professional dance and entertainment, and they are looking for dancers to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. With the chance to gain professional dance experience and connect with the Memphis community, auditioning for the Grizz Girls is an opportunity you do not want to miss. Come show up at Open Call Auditions Saturday, July 26th at the Memphis Sports and Events Center. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Jalen Wells is in studio right now. You took on tough, if not the toughest defensive assignment. When did you realize that would be your role?
And that's what I was working towards since training camp. I was trying to guard Dez. I was trying to guard Ja whenever I could, even if they're blowing by me, overpowering me. I really didn't care, because I was a rookie. So it's like, that's what's going to happen to a rookie.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Live from downtown Memphis, this is the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Chris Vernon.
Here we go. It's noon on GrindCityMedia.com. It's Chris Vernon Show. Welcome. It is the Friday, May 30th, 2025 edition of the show. Today on the show, well, the Knicks saved us from not having basketball for a while, as the NBA Finals are not going to start until next Thursday, regardless of when these series end. But the Knicks extended it to a Game 6 against Indiana tomorrow night. We will go through what took place last night in the NBA. We will get to all the news and notes of the day. Gary Parrish from the Gary Parrish Show is going to join us in studio, as he does on Fridays. It is a Friday. It's beautiful outside. Finally. Smile. Let's do it. Turn it up. Yeah. I hope everybody's having a good day. All right, ton of stuff to get to on the show today, not the least of which is the Knicks extending their series against the Indiana Pacers last night by virtue of winning Game 5. Before I get to anything, I'll welcome John Roser to the show. John Roser, a.k.a. the Cologne Ranger, the Body Spray Bandit, Senior Sack, Johnny Backpole, Johnny Bearcat, John Asparagus, Johnny Neckcarf, John Lance, he's Dr. Thunder, he's Yogi Roser, he's Johnny in Motion.
Kim Jong of the crack song.
Doubt it. Devin Walker's here. He's the microphone mangler. Senor Quasadilla, Mr. Math, Navajo Joe, the reporter, the photographer. He's Sir Hess. He's Walker 93.
I always give a shout out to somebody, bro. Shout out to my guy yesterday. I forgot to get his name. I was at the Peabody Rooftop.
That's like the most important thing about a shout out.
No, we were
is
talking
to get the
though.
name.
The only thing that matters.
It's the only thing that matters.
No, look. My guy and his band performed. The band called Thump Daddy. They performed at the Peabody Rooftop Party yesterday.
You should remember the name of the band.
I met him yesterday by the elevator, and I was like, yo. He's like, yo, listen to the show every day. I live in Nashville.
The Peabody Rooftop. I haven't been there in 20 years.
I was like, oh, you're in your rooftop phase. We all had a rooftop phase.
We were just catching the vibe, you know, with the ambiance, you know what I'm saying? But shout out Thumb Daddy. Y'all did a great job yesterday.
That's so cute. The
okay,
rooftop
Gary Parrish
phase.
is here. Of course, you
Well,
can listen to the Gary
Peso did it.
You can listen to the Gary Parrish Show every morning at 10 o'clock on Grind City Media and all of the apps and YouTube and everywhere else. Look, me and Gary were at, I would say probably around 2005. We were probably
2000. Y'all was rocking the rooftop parties?
Probably.
What was y'all doing?
I probably need to take it back to 2001 just to avoid any issues.
The statute of limitation.
But I don't know when I was there.
Kelly, we were not there in 2005.
I think you got your number.
I was not there. That was Terry Parrish, not Gary Parrish.
Terry
Parrish.
I remember it more like 2001.
What was y'all doing at the rooftop party? What was y'all doing at the rooftop party? Because y'all both ain't got rhythm
What
like
do you
that.
do at the rooftop party?
Yeah,
Probably about the same thing.
Yeah, you're the oldest. You were for sure.
Rhythm, so
you're for sure. Like,
I'm not the oldest person there.
You're not the oldest, but you're on the Like if we got a scale, you're on the right side.
I promise you I'm not. If you saw the crowd,
what
I promise
happened
you're not.
then? It's all divorcees.
It's a very mature crowd. But no, y'all really ain't got rhythm like this. So like, what y'all do at the rooftop party?
What do you mean?
What do you mean what we do at the rooftop
do?
party? We do the same thing we do anyway.
You walk around and look at chicks.
Same thing everybody does.
What are you talking about? What else is there to do? I'm just there. I know you covered up with like I'm just there for the vibes. The vibes is code for there's pretty girls here.
Yeah,
it's the vibes, bro.
There's baddies everywhere.
Yeah, okay. Nobody wants to go to the vibes at like some hole-in-the-wall bar with a bunch of old guys drinking.
We's trying to see
It's not a vibe.
We's trying to see who's going from the rooftop straight to Alfred's.
See now we remixed it. It's rooftop to Silly Goose to 8 and Sand. You know what I'm saying? We got a remix now.
Because if they were willing to go to Alfred's, you were good to go.
The real freaks go to Alfred.
I didn't even know that so we could watch Kevin Page and his wife.
Yeah, we're going to watch Kevin Page and his wife.
The real freaks go
And
to Alfred.
that other girl who I now see who's like a mom like everybody else, the girl that was the lead singer of Nation.
Oh, yeah.
She's like friends with everybody in Mississippi.
It's so funny to see all people.
I know.
Like these people live these wild lives. And now
you see them, and we used to watch them in bands in our 20s, and then now you see them and their moms and dads just like
driving the minivan.
Yeah, like take the Stefon Diggs video times 50.
Y'all weren't hanging out baggies where you're home.
No. They didn't even have pink substances when I was young.
So can you guys explain that?
It was just white.
Okay,
then.
We didn't have quite the variety of colors back then.
I'm gonna tell you this. This is how old I am. When the report came out and people were like talking about like Stefon Diggs and he was seen with I was like, I don't even know what they're talking about. What is it?
Hey.
What is the pink stuff?
You're young.
I don't even think it's, bro. The streets were saying it wasn't drugs; it was wristbands. But I don't.
No, come on. What? You don't hand people wristbands and say, "But don't do all of it." Don't do all of your wristband.
Also, who hands out wristbands on like
hard drugs? I don't do hard drugs. Bro.
But
I stay away from hard drugs.
You don't even know what it is.
No, I don't do no hard drugs.
Do you know what it is?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least I don't feel out of place.
Yeah, like
I didn't even know what they're talking about. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, I have never seen a pink powder.
That's some exotic.
Somebody in the chat for sure got it. We got a reckless chat.
In the chat, tell us what it is, and then tell us if it's any good.
The chat tells us it's cocaine, but it's like
what they color it?
Pink.
I thought cocaine was
Somebody
just
said
white.
Purple haze. No, that's a club. No,
it's called Tootsie.
A modified version of Coke.
Oh,
so it's like the new Coke.
Wow.
Like the 2025 version.
It's like 2025 Coke.
Yeah, 2025 Coke.
And that video started getting passed around of when they asked all the Vikings. They said, "Who's the teammate you would not want to date your sister?" And they're all like, "Diggs."
It's always been Diggs. It's always been Diggs. Like everybody's always said, bro, Diggs is the one you got to keep away from everybody.
How do you think you go from Offset to Diggs?
Because she got a type. By the way, her having them on the boat, amazing tag team. Cardi B on this side, scoping the girls, and Diggs on this side. We're working together.
That sounds like how you end up in a federal lawsuit someday.
What are you talking about?
Well, this sounds like what Diddy and Cassie were into at one point.
It's not going to end well.
That's why.
Wait till the Punisher shows up.
That's why you got
and swears in.
Bro, there's a guy named the Punisher.
Dude, there's a dude. He had to take the oath. Like, do you swear to tell
that?
the whole
Who's
truth?
the Punisher?
They introduced him to the court the other day.
They were like,
call him
we'd
the
like
Punisher.
to call our next.
He's the gay escort.
Yeah, I have not kept up
our
with the
next
Diddy
witness
trial.
is the Punisher. I'm like, buddy.
Yeah, you don't want him showing up.
You don't want the hey, I'm thinking about opening up our relationship. Okay, what do you have in mind?
The Punisher.
I'm gonna hire the Punisher.
Yeah. You better run for the hills, brother. In fact, if Vince McMahon, well, I guess Triple H was smart, you bring out the Punisher.
The Punisher is not for
We
play.
need the Punisher, bro.
The Punisher is not for play.
The second you say that, I'm like, I'm out.
We gotta go, bro.
I'm out of the Punisher.
I don't even want to be in the same room with the Punisher.
You don't get that name for nothing.
You done some stuff.
They don't call you the Punisher.
Look at Roger said,
I was looking up what the pink cocaine is.
Oh,
yeah.
I Googled pink cocaine from the company computer.
It
says,
call me old-fashioned, but I like the cocaine. I like the white cocaine.
It's a designer drug that can typically consist of a mix of ketamine, MDMA, and other substances.
They're hard to stop.
Wow.
They want that shit to stop.
But rarely contains actual cocaine.
They want their heart to stop, bro. That's too much for me, bro.
Oh man,
That is not the Patriot way.
It says it has the smell of strawberry.
For sure.
This is not
It is
the
not the
Patriot way.
Patriot
They
way.
asked Vrabel about the video.
I bet.
He's
Dude,
like,
the Patriots-
This is not the Patriot way.
It
Did you actually
says
see his comments? Vrabel, he said, we would like our players to make good decisions both on and off the field.
like, then why did you sign Stefon Diggs?
Dude, that Patriots franchise, they must be going through it.
You wonder.
Their iconic coach is dating a 24-year-old, and their number one receivers handing out pink coke.
I will say
They said it smells like strawberries.
The Diggs thing
Well, that's nice.
It did feel so much like, and you guys will remember this clear as day. We were at the All-Star game in Charlotte, and it was the first time we ever remember this happening. And we're at the game.
Yeah.
And in a huge fur coat and sunglasses with his hair dyed, Antonio Brown walked in, and we were like, what?
Yeah.
And it was signs of things to come.
Yeah,
it's like,
it was.
bro, what happened? Like, what? This guy was like a normal ass guy, and he just walked in with the biggest fur mink on. It's like, and no, it was like, bro, he changed completely. Like almost, it felt like overnight. And this Diggs thing, it feels very Antonio Browny, where it's like,
I'm at the New York Knicks game with Cardi B. I'm on a boat with Cardi B.
Yes, doing it all so big.
Doing the purple stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Making people's hearts stop. Yeah, it's a wrap, bro.
All right, so we got very lucky last night, guys, because the Knicks at least gave us a Game 6, where we're going to get to watch Knicks-Pacers Game 6, because obviously the Western Conference was over very quickly. Now, I will say, I don't know how you guys felt regarding last night. I walked out of last night feeling worse about both teams' opportunity to play against Oklahoma City. Like, that almost made me if the Pacers go and bust them up, then you can look at it and you're like, all right, Pacers, they've only lost 3 games in the playoffs. They beat a 64-win Cavs team on the road, like the whole thing, right? But then they got, like, mangled last night. They couldn't score, and their best player, like, was just taken completely out of it.
They took him out of it again.
Oh, God, I don't know if this would go very well against Oklahoma City.
Well, because, if they can take him out of the game, OKC can.
Right. And you saw last night, like, they had these stats, these crazy stats after the game about how so far he had averaged 41% of the buckets that Indiana has gotten. He has either scored or assisted on. That is an enormous number, right? Yeah. Last night, it was 23 of their 94 points. It was 21%. So, I mean, they chopped that literally in half. Right. And the crazy thing was, and I mentioned this on the mismatch last night when I was doing it with Jacoby, because Jacoby went to the game. And I said, that game ends, and it's at 94 is the number that Indiana scored. I'm like, there's no way they have scored 94 many times. And anybody can do this. You go and pull up like their schedule, right? And then you pull up the schedule, it's got the scores next to it. I mean, anytime both teams aren't in the hundreds, and usually it's high, it stands out like a sore thumb. Like, amongst the 97 games they've played thus far, there's 5. There's 5 where they have scored less than 100, and you guys are going to laugh your ass off about this, because all of these, you can sit there and go, oh, that makes sense. Either they didn't care or they went and acted like Stefon Diggs the night before. Because the only times Indiana did not score 100 this year, February 4th at Portland, December 4th at Brooklyn, November 8th at Charlotte. Like, it's all the rat teams.
Right. They didn't
It's
care.
all it's
Yeah, they
only
didn't care.
times.
Yeah, right.
It's all, and then they had at Orlando in November, and then the second game of the season against the Knicks after the Knicks had gotten blown out by the Celtics, right? That's it.
Yeah.
The 5 times the whole year they have scored less than 100 points.
To me, I draw something from that.
I know.
I don't think they did not have a sense of urgency last night that the Knicks obviously had.
And
I
that
think
is the other thing. Do you buy what the TNT crew and Shaq and Charles kind of teamed up on Kenny. Kenny was trying to, do the counterpoint here. But they were basically saying they played like a team that has wiggle room.
That's right.
He coached like a coach that has wiggle room. I mean, Neesmith played less than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Miles Turner played 23 minutes.
That's right.
Like, Halliburton was on the bench for a long time. Like, it did feel – that is one of the ways where you could just write it off and just say, bro, this is a dangerous game to play. To punt to Game 5. Golden State did it, and next thing they knew, they're playing in a damn Game 7 on the road.
I hate always bringing up these types of analogies because it's just like old white dude stuff.
Right.
But it makes the point, I think. Think about if you and I are playing golf and we're playing holes, match play. And if you're up 3 on me with 4 to play.
Yep.
How focused are you on this next tee shot?
Sure.
You're like, it's like, should I hit driver here? Oh, what does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
You try some dude like
we're fine.
We're
We're
fine.
fine.
25 on 2K.
Even if he wins this, even if I put this one in the trees and he wins this hole, I'm still up 2 with 3 to play. I'm fine.
Yep.
It's the same mindset.
It really is.
Yeah, but he could be playing with fire. But I think I was watching the game. I was like, yeah, bro, these dudes are not trying. Like, this dude playing like Pablo Prigioni. He ain't even trying. Like, did you see your boy?
Yeah, it's Gregg Doyel.
Your boy Gregg Doyel's in the news again.
I know.
You see the Pascal?
Why is he doing that? Do you think it's just he hasn't been in the news recently?
No, I think it is.
He can't help himself?
Yes, it's that. He can't help himself. I hesitate.
But we're old now.
I hesitate to use like terms because that seems inappropriate.
I
But
want you to use a term.
I think it comes down to he can't help himself. And there's something about
he's like Carl Towns fouling.
There's something about the way his mind works, whereas if your answer doesn't compute with him, he can't accept it.
Oh, so he's a.
It's. I'll turn all the mics off. I'll tell you exactly what I think. But here's what happens in his head, I believe. He asked Pascal Siakam because Siakam's like, we just didn't play hard enough. We just didn't play hard enough. And so Gregg's like, in his mind, how could you not play hard in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals? That makes no sense to me. So he asked Siakam, like, explain that. How is that possible? Siakam's like, how's what possible?
Hey, pull it up, Jalen.
Jalen, I'll send it to you on the chat.
Yeah, but this is the gist
so we
of
can
it.
watch it. Yeah.
And he's like, how's that possible? And Siakam's like, what do you mean, how's it possible? He's like, how's it possible you don't play hard? He's like, well, we played hard, but we just didn't play harder than them. But how is that possible that you just get to
because it mattered more to them.
Right. The answer is, bro, it's just human nature.
And
it's human nature.
Who is this dude?
And also, you cannot replicate, as you were talking about, psychologically.
That's right.
You can't replicate your back against the wall.
That's right.
Like, you're not fighting for your playoff lives. Yeah. They are.
And that's a real thing.
Of course it's a real thing.
You want to go back to the crib and end this. Go back to India. Let's end this thing
I'm
at the crib.
playing like he wants you to play every game like it's your last game on earth.
And
but the human nature of it is
and nobody does that.
If you have breathing room, many times the breathing room is used.
If you have breathing room in anything in life, you use it.
Right. Here it is last night. This is honestly, Gregg Doyel got everybody to be interested in the first Pascal Siakam press conference in a decade. I've never seen a Pascal Siakam clip in my life.
He's won a title, and I'd never seen him talk.
Until last night.
They need to keep him away from the camera.
Until last night.
They need to keep him away from the camera, low-key.
Huh?
Play the video.
All right.
What do you mean? How is it possible to not fight hard enough in game? What are you talking about? They played harder than us. It's okay. We played hard, but they played harder. What's your point? I don't get it. My point is you're saying you guys got out-fought, and I'm saying that happens in the game, though. That's basketball. You're good? You're good, bro? You're looking for something, I know, but damn. No, but I'm telling you, though. I told you. What else do you want me to tell you? Well, what about you tell me? So go ahead. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? What's your name, bro? Oh.
All right, I'm gonna be honest with you too. Forget how funny that is, right?
You good, bro?
This honestly, the worst part about that, by far, to me.
Who is that guy?
Absolutely.
You're the Indianapolis columnist.
Yeah. You're the columnist at the Indianapolis Star, and Pascal Siakam has no idea who you are.
It'd be like if Jaren Jackson genuinely didn't know, had never heard of Jeff Calkins.
Yeah.
That would be weird.
Who's this
That's
guy?
insane.
Yeah.
How? How does he not know who you are?
That's sign of the times, too.
Yeah.
Like, literally, if you were the local columnist once upon a time, you set the tone for everything. You're the voice that mattered.
Right.
And everybody knew everything you wrote. And it's just not like that anymore.
Yeah, but still, you would think you would be present enough.
Yeah, you would be around
that
enough,
they would
right?
know who you are.
From practices to post-game
Oh,
interviews.
I did, yeah.
And I guess you're just not covering the team like that.
That would,
That's the thing.
What else is he doing? He got banned from the Fever stuff for doing the little.
The Caitlin Clark thing.
Hey, Caitlin.
What does he do? Colts? Is he doing a bunch of Colts?
Yeah, it's been.
Does he write about the Colts?
Yeah, I guess the Colts.
Got him out of there for doing a hand heart.
It's just odd that one of the stars of a team that's in the Eastern Conference Finals says, who is this guy? Well, he's literally local. It's not even like he's like NBA.com.
I know, but
and that's the first Raptor. I'll never get it out of my head. Pacers game that he's covered.
Think about it from this perspective. Okay, once upon a time, if you were the local columnist, there was typically one newspaper in every city.
Yeah.
And not New York, LA, different, but one newspaper, one columnist that really carried the stick. And that was thrown around the city. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just laying in every gas. It's in the office. It's probably in a locker room.
You don't even see him anymore.
Okay, so now
the only time I see a newspaper is the guy that stands on the corner on Sunday.
Right. That's right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Shout out to him, by the way.
I never see him. I take my dog out every morning. Yeah. I cannot tell you the last time I saw a newspaper in the yard. They don't do it, do they?
I don't even know.
Do they still do it?
They do.
Yeah,
they still throw it in people's yards?
Yeah. The people that want it, they do it.
I have not touched a newspaper in years.
At least as of 4 years ago, they did.
Okay, so
4 years ago. Thanks, Roser. I mean,
my dad used to get the
4
newspaper.
Years ago, TikTok didn't exist.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Saying.
So now contrast what I was just explaining with where we're at today.
What is wrong with him?
As of 4 years ago, I mean,
dude,
what?
Dude, Grok has a better sense. Grok is more capable of answering this question than you. Is that who it's going?
And also, Roser hasn't lived in a neighborhood until like 2 weeks ago.
You're not.
No, I said my dad got the newspaper delivered until he passed, which was like 2021. Yeah.
Now.
Oh, everybody's got to feel bad for Roser. Sorry, your dad died 4 years ago.
I didn't say you had to feel bad for me. I'm just saying, as of 4 years ago, they had it delivered.
Okay, well,
apparently they do. They still do get delivered.
He really had to make us feel bad.
Yeah. Which died first, newspapers or your dad?
Newspapers.
They went out about the same time.
Newspapers big on.
He was the last subscriber.
There's no doubt about it.
They were both in years of decline.
The CA said, damn it.
No.
It's when he went, the business went.
Roser was like, I'll shut these idiots up. I'll just drop them with my dead dad story. And we're like, oh, no, we'll laugh about that too.
No.
The goofing ain't stopping. No. You can calm down.
Yeah.
You ain't the only one with a dead dad.
The last subscriber.
He was the last subscriber. I used to say it to him all the time. I'm like, Dad, why do you get the paper? I was like, why do you get the newspaper? No, seriously, because he liked to do.
He stopped printing it after
They're like, all right, it's over. It's over.
The editor showed up to his funeral.
He only.
He was the last one.
It was the editor and Calkins.
Wow.
They were the only ones there.
Bro, I'm crying right now, bro. Oh my God.
Don Wade was there.
He liked to do the
Don Wade was there.
It was Don Wade, Zach McMillan.
Everybody came back.
David Waters. Who's the religion guy? Waters.
Who's the right?
They had a religion guy.
Yeah, they did have a religion
Michael
guy.
Donahue was there.
Michael Donahue.
Take the sea action.
Well, Michael Donahue took the picture.
Yeah. All right, so what do you do? The crossword puzzles.
Yeah, and Sudoku, and I'm like, Dad, you know, like I could just get you a book of those at Walgreens, right? Like,
Or is it after that?
Oh my God.
Here's what I was trying to say. Oh my God! Here's what I was trying to say before Roser's father passed. Used to, if you walk around the city, you could not walk around without bumping into the newspaper. And there's Jeff Calkins' face on it, or whoever the columnist is, and it's just almost impossible to avoid. Now, seriously, if you're Jaren Jackson Jr., how do you ever even get to a Jeff Calkins?
On the internet. Now,
Okay.
I will say he has an awareness. Jaren would know DeMichael, and Jaren would know Drew Hill.
Of course.
They all.
But here's what I mean. And
But because they're the only print guys that are omnipresent.
So here's my point. Take Jaren, put him over here.
Yeah.
I know because Gregg used to be on my show every week,
Right.
and so I literally subscribed to the Indianapolis Star at one point because I needed to read him just to be able to talk to him. But you can't read a Gregg Doyel column without being a subscriber online to the Indianapolis Star. Do you think Pascal Siakam is subscribed to the Indianapolis Star? I bet he's never read a Gregg Doyel column.
Somebody on this team probably
Well,
is, though. I
no.
will tell you,
What they
have people
do
on their
is
team that do.
well, there's a thing that we'll even get it too on an email thing called Grizz Clips.
Shout out Grizz Clips.
They send Grizz Clips to everybody, and so what they'll do is they'll extract because you have to have a subscription. They don't have subscriptions to the Daily Memphian and the Commercial Appeal either.
Right.
But they have an awareness of what people are saying just because they get the.
And I'll tell you this, GP. There's at least one person on every person's team that knows or listens to everything.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Like there's somebody on everybody's team that's listening to this right now.
Yeah.
Like, so they're aware of everything.
Bro, the day I jumped Taylor Jenkins after we lost those games over the weekend, we lost them all at the buzzer, and it was like, it's self-inflicted, right?
Knicks, Spurs, Hawks.
The next night, I walked down there to the game because I got to show my face, right? And immediately somebody from his staff was like, "Bro, lay off my guy,"
Right.
and I was like, "How'd you know?"
Right.
And he was like, got sent to me immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my bad. I was like, I'm not, you know, I told him, I said, you know, I don't dislike Taylor.
Right.
Like, you know that. And he's like, I know. And I was like, well, just explain. Like, this stuff is madness, bro.
Right.
The
thing
this is professional sports too. Like, sorry.
The thing they should understand with
They
you,
know.
they know it all comes from the good place.
Yeah.
You don't want to fire.
All
Taylor.
I care about is they win.
You don't want Taylor Jenkins to
No.
be fired as much as you just want the team to be better.
That's it.
That's it.
Right.
Right.
Sure. But to your point, it's like they have an awareness of everything that is going on. That's what makes it so crazy that he wouldn't know who Gregg Doyel is. Like, what?
Yeah.
How do you not know who this is? Maybe he hasn't even written about the Pacers all year or whatever, which is also strange, and I don't know.
Get your mans, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways.
Yeah, like in all seriousness, if I had my arm around Gregg, I would say, because he'll say like. He doesn't understand the reaction to what this is. I promise you, he doesn't understand it and couldn't anticipate it. And I would just say this is at least 2 times in a very public setting where you don't understand what's happening and everybody else is looking at it.
Well, he also doesn't care. He doesn't care. When we went to the year we went to the Final Four, you got us into like this Adidas party, and I mean you're bumping into everybody, like Bruce Pearl and Rick Pitino. Everybody's there, right? Like it's like at the Final Four in San Antonio, the Adidas party, right? Like Doyel came and joined up with us, and he walked in the Affliction shirt, like with the freaking skull and crossbones and what. It's like, come
that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, okay. It makes sense now. That's what we're dealing with.
He's like MMA guy, or he was.
He's changed a lot since then, just in terms of
He's not an MMA guy.
I don't know about that. I just know that I know that he struggled with the Caitlin Clark stuff because he was in his head.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I talked to him. And I texted with him. I shouldn't overstate it. But I know in his head, he was like, I was just trying to be nice and welcome her to our city. And I wasn't trying to be creepy as much as I was just trying to be nice. And I was excited because this thing is in our city. And it just got all twisted up. And in this one, I promise you what he would say was, I just don't understand how you can't play hard in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. So rather than me try to figure it out, I wanted him to tell me why you can't play hard. That's all I was doing. And I would say, I hear you, But it doesn't play that way.
It doesn't play that way,
The whole
Greg.
internet's laughing at you. So like,
No, because it reminds you of the Tarim Prince. Like,
All of it.
how can Yale out rebound
It's the exact
Baylor?
same
And he's
thing.
like,
it's the same
You
thing.
put your ball in the hands and you grab the ball, and that's a rebound, and they got more of those.
It's a great answer. All that, but that's what that was. And
Right.
I would just at some point be like, maybe we should just sit the press conferences out. You're a talented writer. Do you need to be asking these questions? Could you just do it without this? Because he is a award-winning, great columnist, and yet if you just say his name, to the people who will even be aware
Bad
of
perception.
it's people.
It's the weirdo Caitlin Clark guy.
That's right, and he's a talented guy, but it's all overshadowed by these little moments that he's had multiple times in recent years.
Regarding the game, you guys agree with me that last night makes you feel a little bit worse about either of them?
No, I think the Pacers took a night off, bro.
I think that's,
You do?
that's
I think
the
it was-
biggest
You
thing.
you do? Are you unanimous on that?
No, I mean, I feel the same. Like, I think OKC is gonna beat either one of these teams pretty easily, but I do feel like Indiana gives them the best chance.
I think
Indiana's the best chance of putting up a fight.
The only thing about last night, and again, this might be, there's two caveats. It might be backs against the wall Knicks are a different deal, right? Like there was a level of intensity, and maybe they can meet that in a game 6 as well, right? Like where Bridges is giving Halliburton no breathing room, and they're making him C2, and they're flying around, and they're swarming, and Cat's great, and Brunson simultaneously great, and they're scoring so much that they can set up their defense, and now we've turned this into a half-court basketball game, right? Like, that is the only thing about last night, and again, they have not done that throughout these playoffs, and they haven't done that, frankly, in this series, except for the 2 games they've won. They held them to 100 one time, and they held them to 94 another time. And they made them play half-court basketball. When you saw the only chinks in the armor for Oklahoma City was when Denver made them play half-court.
Yeah.
And, set up that zone, and it's like, bro, all right, we're going to run a play, and you run a play, and let's have an execution war, and we'll just see, right? And there is part of me that watched last night. Again, I don't know how many times they could replicate that because it's, the Garden and your back's against the wall and whatever else. But it's like they could make somebody play. Indiana has no interest in playing half-court basketball. So it's like, can you play this kind of basketball better than Oklahoma City? Yeah. And the answer is probably no.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they're never playing half-court basketball. They don't want to, and they look like shit when they do. New York can play that, all right, we're gonna run a play, you're gonna run a play, let's play this thing slow, and we'll see who can out-execute each other.
The
right?
issue with New York is, though, what
It's gonna
OKC
be the
is
depth.
good at. Yeah, the depth thing. OKC is good at
and
focusing
Tibbs
in
went
on
to it
people.
last night a little bit more than he had. They played 9 dudes last night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But the depth.
DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet have actually been good.
Shamet been good, bro.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. Look. I don't want the Knicks against OKC because OKC does a good job of taking out your head of the snake so well. They good at if you have 1 or 2 guys they can just focus in on, they can just do this. They can just take them out. They can. I feel like with Indy, there's so many guys that can just make an impact.
But the weird thing is
so than
about the
Halliburton.
Knicks, you saw that stat last night, and I was floored when they said that Towns and Brunson are the first duo to score 20 each in the first 5 games of a conference finals since Kobe and Shaq. Yeah. That was 23 years ago. How have none of these other duos? I mean, 20. It's not like they scored 30 a night. They scored 20 a night, but. There was only 2 that had ever done it. It was Kobe and Shaq, and then they said Jerry West and Elgin Baylor in the 70s. And I was like, I think
JB poked a hole in it. She was like, because KD and Steph did it in less. They did it in 4 games. So they kind of extrapolated the stat to make it look
first 5 games.
Yeah.
We do that with stats literally every night in the NBA.
Oh, I know.
Somebody draws the lines here, and here, and says nobody's ever done this before.
Yep.
And we're like, oh crap, that's amazing. But then if you go look, you're like, oh well, they did it.
But has anybody ever gone from, and I'm guilty too, we're guilty too, where it's like, has anybody ever gone from a Tyrese Halliburton we had this discussion when I was on your show.
Yeah, bro, he went to Pablo Prigioni last night.
And that is the thing about the Knicks, these guys, they are consistently great. Halliburton's had duds and great. Ant has had duds and great, but Brunson's kind of you can kind of chalk him up for and obviously Gilgeous-Alexander just went nuclear. I mean, he averaged 31, 8, and 5 in the damn conference finals.
Like Halliburton, they started picking him up early, a little earlier last night. Mikal Bridges was a problem on him. And then Brunson just guarded with a purpose. Like he just tried harder last night on that end of the court. I think I saw the number in the first 4 games. When he was the primary defender, Pacers were shooting like 64% against him. Last night it was 21.
Oh, wow.
So he just actually tried for once.
Yeah, like there's
so you guys think it is like if we're doing like the scales, the bigger side of the scale or the heavier side of the scale is they had wiggle room and played like crap.
I think that's that to me is the biggest thing. I don't think it's the only thing. I do think it's the biggest thing.
I think it's just a little lax. You get a little lax when you're up 3-1, going back to the guard, and it's like, okay, if we don't handle bid, like you said, like Carlisle pulled him early. If we ain't got it early, go see y'all. We'll go back to Indy and handle this.
But it is, as you mentioned, like
the Warriors did it.
It's
they
dangerous.
punted 5 and then
got
lost 6 at home.
Yes.
Look, next thing you know, it's like, oh my God, we're playing a Game 7 on the road.
Because Pat McAfee on the microphone. Turn this joint up.
They are not winning a Game 7 in Madison Square Garden. No. I don't think.
But I'm not going to say they're not.
I would tell you this. I would tell you this. They will not be favored.
No, they won't be favored.
And right now, they are minus 360, and that is all on the basis of them winning Game 6.
That's right. Like we all have the numbers on once you're down 3-1, like it's over typically. 13 and 283, I think, is the record all time in 7-game series NBA playoffs. But those are usually it's you're down 3-1 and you were not the higher seed.
Right.
This is you're down 3-1. You were down 3-1, but you're the higher seed. And so if you can get last night, which they did and they were expected to, now it's 3-2. Now forget big picture stuff. If you can just win tomorrow,
that's right.
You're the favorite to win the series.
Well, and here's the other thing. Everything has context, right? And amongst all of those like 3-1s or whatever, none of them include a literal lightning strike miracle win.
That's right.
By the other team in Game 1. Like last night when I'm watching the game, and they're down 16 with 3.5 minutes to go. And Reggie Miller's like, this is when Nesmith started hitting threes in game. And I was like, you think about it like in that context. When you're watching that game, you're like, bro, this game is over.
Because
Game 1 was over.
Because they were trying to sell us on that.
Yeah.
It was like, and if you can believe it, the Knicks were up more in Game 1 in this moment than they are right now.
So
this ain't over. And of course it was over, but that's what they were.
And we all freely admit this series should be 3-2 Knicks right now.
Do you know the Knicks have the Knicks have the better point differential in the series.
Yeah. It should be 3-2 right now. So that's the difference in this one than in many of them, right?
Also,
like they all have context.
You got a little incentive. You Tyrese Halliburton. One, you can't drop those shirts and play like ass. But bro, if you go back to MSG for Game 7, in Game 1 you did this.
I know.
But he is the type of dude who's built to just do it again.
Yeah, he is. He built like that, but boy.
I'm not predicting it, but it would not. He's the dude. I don't think he melts in that moment.
I don't think so either.
Think he would. That's what I'm saying. Game 6 is the moment. You're going to have Pat McAfee there on the microphone.
Do we think the New Yorkers go back?
Yes.
I hope so.
They'll go.
I hope so.
Oh, wait, I heard you talking about I don't understand why Pat McAfee was yelling at them like that.
I didn't say I don't understand. I'm just saying if we did that.
We would love it.
I would not. I would think it sounds small and cheap. And
Al Capone did it. He was in Draymond's face like this. Whoop that tree.
That's
and we got our ass kicked in Game 6.
We did get our ass kicked in Game 6.
It was stupid.
In the moment, that shit was dope.
If Ben Stiller and Timothy Chalamet were sitting courtside for Grizzlies-Knicks Game 3 finals.
Like, welcome to Memphis, Timothy.
Not that, but I would if we put Vernon on the microphone or somebody on the microphone to be like, let's send these big city celebs, these sons of bitches back in here. I'd be like, what is going on? This sounds silly.
Honestly, I would be able to write it off. In this case, if you put like. It would be the equivalent of almost putting like Jerry Lawler on it.
Yeah, it's WWE.
You know, but he was cutting a promo.
It's wrestling,
And McAfee is a wrestling commentator, so it's from that.
Yes. I didn't take it seriously because he's like cutting a promo.
He's a wrestling guy.
Yes.
Like a Joe Smo got on my like, screw you.
Then we gotta talk. That's why it comes off different.
None of it is a big deal.
Yeah,
none of it's a big deal.
I just heard you talk about it, so I had to bring it up.
None of it's a big deal. But if I were in a meeting and somebody said, So Chalamet's coming, and Ben Stiller's going to be here, and Spike Lee and Kylie, and we're thinking about getting Chris Vernon to get on the microphone and like be Verno.
You would think it was stupid.
I would say, I'd say don't do that. I would say don't do that.
I would argue to definitely a portion of the younger audience, maybe like 35 and under. Pat McAfee's more famous than Ben Stiller.
To a section, hell yeah.
Like Pat McAfee's more famous to him than Ben Stiller is.
When's the last time
Like Ben Stiller's not
age
like
contingent.
When's the last time Ben Stiller had a bang?
Yeah, there's an age thing. Like, there's people that watch that are like, who is Ben Stiller?
When the last time Ben Stiller was in massive movies?
Massive.
Massive
When the last time he had a banger though?
But for our age group, he is like way more famous than to a younger age group.
Yeah, but to a 25-year-old, it's probably McAfee.
Pat McAfee is
But to a 45-year-old, I don't think
your kids know Pat McAfee.
Sure.
They don't know Ben Stiller.
Mine know Ben Stiller. Mine know Ben Stiller because of look, he was in Night and Museum, Dodgeball. He spanned a lot of different genres.
Yeah, I would this is just stupid, but I would want Ben Stiller and Timothy Chalamet, all these people. I'd want them going back to New York and being like, dude, Memphis was awesome.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what I would want them to say.
That's fair.
They still can say that.
Last thing before we get out of here, you got to explain to us in dumbed down terms how the hell PJ Haggerty is playing for Kansas State. Like, do you know any? Like, how is this?
The simplest version is that things did not unfold the way he expected them to unfold once he got into the transfer portal.
What do you think is the goal was to just go make a boatload of money playing college, or do you think that because he did go do the combine and he didn't perform poorly?
Yeah, but I think he just probably
checking it out.
You go through the combine
Get
because
your name on the list.
You just believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And you're like, if I go there and play well, then they'll have to whatever. And then you go there and they play well, and you know what they tell you? Buddy, you're little bitty. You are little.
Right.
And you
got to work on this, got to work on that.
And it's just like, and also you're always going to be this tall.
Yeah.
And so you're not going in the first round. Maybe you get picked in the second, but who knows? And then it's like, okay, so this isn't, I know I can make millions playing college basketball, so I'm just going to do that. Yeah. Now, who's still got money for me? And it was like, well, Kansas State's got some for you. And a lot of the other money.
But what happened to the original ones? Do you know?
Like the Memphis
Ole Miss,
and
the NC State, and what happened to all that? Because like when we always talk about life is leverage, it felt like he was making this decision to leave Memphis because he knew he had. Did that fall through?
I don't think anything fell through as much as I think he had an idea of what he wanted. Think about if you were in a contract negotiation.
But why would he leave? Why would he leave without knowing?
I think you've got to get into the transfer portal not necessarily without knowing, but you just got it. That's the first step. That thing closes. You got to get in it. So just get in it. And here's
do you think he thought he was going to do better than Memphis's offer and then just couldn't?
So he banked on himself and lost.
I think he's Nico.
He's Nico. I think he thought I think he said, JT Toppin at Texas Tech is a second-team All-American. I'm a second-team All-American. Yeah. JT Toppin's a Conference Player of the Year. I'm a Conference Player of the Year. He just got $4 million. I'm going to go get $4 million. I think that's what he thought. And Memphis was like, we don't have 4, but we got 3.
This is honestly the Nico thing where he's like, Carson Beck's getting paid in Miami and this guy's getting paid.
Yeah, you bet on yourself and you lost because you didn't really.
Well, because I don't like my deal. The one I had already signed, I don't like that one as much.
So you say, if he can get 4, then I can get 4. We have the same accolades. I'm going to go get 4. Memphis says, we got 3, but like 4, we just don't have 4. And plus 4 is crazy. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go get my 4 from somebody. So if you remember, entered the transfer portal, and almost immediately the reports were he's asking for $4 million.
And he wanted to play point guard.
Yes. Yeah. Well, my whole thing there was, first off, you done messed this up. Because when you say, if you want me, I'm $4 million, you just eliminate everybody. Yeah. You eliminate 75% of the schools that might have been interested in you right from the jump.
Let it play out.
Let it play out. Just be like, I'm interested. Who's interested in me? Exactly. And let's talk and see where it goes. Once you put a real number like that on it, it's like, that's a non-starter for us. So now you're really only talking with, you might have thought 30 schools would be interested in a second-team All-American, but once you put that number and that play-in demand on it, point guard, primary, now it's like, how many schools are really wanting to get involved? 4?
It went to 4.
So then you're out there getting real offers, and I do believe he got real offers. What I also believe is that he never would accept the offer. Every offer he got was designed to get the next one. All right. I got a $3 million offer from Memphis. Let's see if he might give me 3.1.
And people saw through that.
And then people are like,
So
dude, we can keep offering
He was
this
trying to play the leverage game.
Was it his?
Yeah.
I saw some stories that it was his dad, the one that was kind
of course, yeah. That's,
botched the situation.
of course it's going to be. It's always going to be something like that.
Yeah.
And so then NC.
Yeah, but don't a lot of these kids have agents now?
Yes, but he didn't. Apparently,
I read it. It was his dad negotiating.
His dad was handling all this, and like
because Boogie Flanders got a fortune from Florida, and he's got an agent.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like, I don't want to ever get in, like criticizing dads. It's hard to be a dad, you know.
Yeah.
But I would not have ever let my dad negotiate any of my contracts.
This is the Nico thing.
He has no experience in it.
That's right.
I'd be like, Dad, I love you, but we're gonna let my agent handle my contract.
Everybody says that about the Nico thing.
Yes, it's the same thing.
Right.
It's like, Dad, you can handle Thanksgiving dinner.
Yep.
But the agent's going to handle my contract negotiation.
Yeah. Or our commercial appeal subscription.
My dad would have that for you. But yeah, he would have.
So I think he would get an offer, and NC State would be like, all right, we'll offer you this. You want it? And he'd be like, well, give me a second. And finally NC State's like, we're going to go give our money to this guy. And then Penny's like, we're going to give our money to Curtis Gift, wherever it goes, right? And then finally, the money starts to run out, and now you're just sort of like, who's got money left? It's almost like, think of it as cap space. You're a free agent in the NBA. All right, who's got cap space now to give me this money? Yeah. And Jerome Tang's like, well, we got a little bit. We can throw this on you.
So you think he for sure got less?
Yeah.
You got this.
Everything I've been told is that he got less than he thought he was going to get, and even less than he would have received had he just, the day Penny said, here's the offer, take it. If he'd have just took it, he would have more money right now than he.
That's the crazy thing. It's like you didn't lose him because you got outbid.
Right. I
don't understand.
Yeah. I think
that's why I said to explain it to me in dummy terms, because it's like I can get it, right? Like if Kansas State even, it annoys me that they're the 10th place team in the Big 12 has, enough money to. But again, by all accounts, you didn't lose him because of money.
Well, unless you took your offer off the table.
The thing I talked about earlier in the week, and I'm not saying this is why you lost him. I'm just saying these are the types of things that would pop into my head and raise levels of concern. When you heard Yaxel was leaving UAB to go to Michigan, did you even blink?
No.
It's like, well, of course. Why would he not go to the?
Why would he not?
If you heard any other AAC program lost its best player, or any other mid-major conference lost its conference player of the year to a power conference, would you even blink?
No.
Why are we blinking?
Yeah.
All right? Because we've always thought Memphis is just different. How different is it now?
Well, again,
I feel like it's like a last resort kind of thing.
Again, but the reason I wouldn't blink is because of the money.
Yeah. Right.
I feel like it's like low-key last going to club type stuff.
But do you know what Yaxel would tell you, or any mid-major, any player from a mid-major conference who goes to the power conference? Do you know what they will tell you? Yes, it's almost always going to be money influenced, but sometimes they will tell you, in addition to that, I just wanted to play in the Big Ten. I just wanted to play in the SEC. And Memphis has always been immune from that. Like, Derrick Rose could have played in any conference in America. He was happy playing in Conference USA.
I got it on my shirt.
I don't know how true that is anymore. I don't know if Memphis can separate from its league in these ways that it forever had. And that could be a problem.
So it's not the last girl in the club situation.
Well, like, you could just keep.
It's like, this is the last offer I got.
People can keep trying to explain it away, like it doesn't reflect on Memphis.
Yeah.
But Memphis is the only school, I believe, with a consensus All-American that lost him to transfer.
We have, and here's the thing, Gare. It's, set aside Memphis and the way we think about Memphis, because that's not true. Memphis basketball. The football coaches told me 2 years ago, Darrell Henderson will never finish his career at Memphis. Yeah. Tony Pollard will never. Anthony, as soon as one of these guys is that awesome, we're not keeping him.
The tight end. They lost the tight end immediately to Ole Miss.
So we're not getting to keep it, but we always thought basketball doesn't.
Right.
Who have we ever lost? Honestly. Can you remember one that we lost to somebody bigger, and then it was like Tariq Black went to Kansas, but it was like we didn't care.
But like, I'll speak factually about it. You can take from this whatever you want. Call it a sign of the times and nothing more if you want. But what I'm about to tell you is true. There have been 7 consensus All-American basketball players at Memphis in the history of the program. Only 7, or wow 7, however you want to interpret that. But 7's the number. And it's, it's Penny Hardaway and Lorenzen Wright and Keith Lee and Chris Douglas Roberts. And
Rodney Carney.
Rodney Carney.
Rodney Carney,
There's 7.
man.
PJ Haggerty is the 7th. The previous 6, literally none of them ever left Memphis for any other reason than I'm going to the NBA draft or my eligibility has been exhausted. No All-American, no consensus All-American has ever received that honor at Memphis and then said, I want to go play college basketball somewhere else. PJ Haggerty is the first. Maybe that's strictly a PJ Haggerty thing. Maybe it's strictly a sign of the times. But if I were somebody working in that athletic department, I would say, why did something that just happened to us, why is something that had never happened to us just happen to us? And is this a sign of is it going to be harder for us to get this level of player and keep this level of player going forward in this league? Because you can say whatever, but what I'm about to tell you is true. What just happened had never happened to us before, and what just happened didn't happen to any other school who had a consensus All-American this season.
But it is happening everywhere.
Players are moving around everywhere.
It is happening everywhere.
Did K-State just have a dude like they transferred there last year that was like crying in the locker room? What's buddy that got all that money last year?
Daquan Tomlin.
Yeah, he was like
no. The other one.
Did he transfer from
Coleman Hawkins? Yes.
Illinois,
PJ,
right? He transferred from Illinois.
Yeah, no, Coleman Hawkins, right.
Don't end up like him, PJ.
He did. Coleman Hawkins did a little bit what PJ Haggerty just did, which is, I'm available. Who wants me? And KSU came in and said, we'll buy you. And he probably never thought about going to Kansas State, never dreamed about going to Kansas State, but they had the biggest check on the table, and he said, I'll take it. And by most accounts, it was, I won't speak for him. I'll just tell you what you said. His season ended. He made more money than he has ever made in his life, more money than most people will ever make in a year, perhaps more money than he'll ever make any other year the rest of his life. And it ended with him in tears.
Depressed, bro.
Sorry that he couldn't get it done. And
that is not going to be a unique story.
Yeah.
Because if my son were one of these people, like a basketball player in demand, I would say the money matters 100%. We're not playing for free, and we ain't giving anybody big discounts. But you need to pick somewhere you want to be. And then let's try to get the money as right as we can get it. Because if you just start picking where you're going to live, who you're going to play for, all those things based on nothing more than money, if it's like literally nothing else matters but the money, then I think you run into problems.
And I will say the one thing that you can have solace in is it's not just Memphis. This is happening to the big schools too. Like we were talking earlier, like Carson Beck is going to be the starting quarterback at Miami.
That's right.
This upcoming year, right? Like you can go down the line. I was a couple of weeks ago. I was with this buddy of mine he's actually part of the Tennessee Collective, and it's right after the Nico stuff happened. And he's like, he's telling me the story about how they found out because Dan Lanning called Josh Heupel and was like, look, I'm not taking this guy, but you need to know they're calling around everywhere trying to rally the money.
They're shopping him.
Yeah, like this is messed up and blah, blah, blah. And so anyways, we're having this conversation, and he's like, Tennessee fans are like, Nico wasn't that good anyway. They're doing all that stuff, which is bullcrap. But we're there, and an Ole Miss guy who's an Ole Miss booster is there, and the Ole Miss booster goes, let me tell you this. Of course, he's got a great Southern accent.
Yes.
He's like, let me tell you this. We should have paid Judkins.
Yeah.
He's like, we probably played for the national title if we were a running back away and we just let him walk.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then you think back and it's like, damn, bro, like Ole Miss did have a chance at the national title last year, especially with Jackson Dart and the group that they had. And they might have been a guy that could run the ball well away from it, but they lost their running back to Ohio State,
right.
Ole Miss, and Ole Miss got more money than God.
Right.
And it's like, so this does happen everywhere.
It is happening everywhere. What I hope is that the Haggerty thing is just a one-off. It was just something that happened because...
And a cautionary tale.
Yeah, and just like people learn from that, and it's a one-off, and it's not a reflection on the University of Memphis or its conference at all.
Yeah.
That's what I hope.
Yeah. But you think it probably is.
I don't know. What I'm trying to just make clear is that when a player from a mid-major conference is approached by power conferences, they almost always leave, and we almost never even think about why. Yeah. It's always just, well, of course. And what would worry me is that Memphis is either already there or on the verge of no longer being the type of place that can hold players, can get players and hold players above the level of the conference in a meaningful way. Could you, in the year 2025, recruit Derrick Rose?
No chance.
Sure not.
No chance.
That's what I'm saying.
He would probably come here for like 6 months and then be out and be at Michigan.
Could you recruit, Will Barton?
Yeah, right.
Could you tell people, turn down the opportunity to play a Big 12 schedule, an SEC schedule, to come play this schedule where there are literally 0 top 60 teams, according to BartTorvik.com, heading into next season?
Well, you're more likely catching the PJ Haggertys from Tulsa, the kid that they got from Kansas State, the Dane Dangers from Illinois,
Bradshaw kid from Ohio State, Kentucky.
Dane Danger from Illinois. Like you're getting the people that that don't get to play as much at the big schools. That's where you're getting your players.
Can we acknowledge that's different than what it used to be? Not too long ago.
Oh yeah, we getting the bounce backs now, bro.
Okay,
of course we the second
harder to build.
Yeah, so it's like, to me, that would be the thing. Like, mid-major players from mid-major conferences bouncing to high-major schools is the most normal thing in college basketball right now. And we've always thought of Memphis as different. Like, Gonzaga is different than the WCC. Memphis is different than the AAC.
I just thought
I hope it's still true. I hope it's still true.
I hope so, too.
But the crowds aren't the same. The schedule's not the same. And now the roster.
Well, me and you were both on the
talent within the program is not the same.
You and I were both in this. Why are we staying in this conference? Have some foresight.
Yeah,
seriously.
Right?
It's going fast.
You're the cream of the crop.
Right. This is not getting
I understand
better.
It would have been painful to try to figure out how to spend all the millions you needed to spend to come up with an exit fee. I get that, but is it more painful than this? Because last season, I keep making this point. They were top 25 most of the year. They had an All-American guard, and they're coached by the most beloved graduate of that university in history, I think. Mm-hmm. And nobody wanted to come to the games.
Nope.
And you ready for this? Next season, I would love to be wrong. I hope I am. But it probably ain't going to be as good as this past season.
Bro, we can't name 2 players on our team right now.
On paper, it's not supposed to be as good as it was last season. And last season, in terms of people showing up, it just didn't matter. Yeah. So I understand it was a big price to pay. And, money doesn't grow on trees. But when you decline to pay that price, this is your reality. This is what we're dealing with.
Well, and the other thing is, like, when we were going through and they announced, like, the schedule yesterday, whatever, it is the difference between, like, if you told me that Thanksgiving night, which is one of their scheduled games, which is stupid, but whatever.
Right.
But if you told me that was Memphis-Boise State,
yes,
I view that infinitely differently than Memphis Navy.
The thing,
there is zero chance I will go on Thanksgiving night to Memphis Navy. But I might go to Memphis Boise State.
The thing that people who tried to argue with me just could not get their heads wrapped around was that I never once tried to tell you this was like moving to the Big 12 or like moving to the ACC.
It's better.
I just tried to tell you it's better.
And
it is noticeably and tangibly better.
Yeah, and the gray hairs that show up to every single thing they're starting to kind of phase out now. Like
Rose or Dad?
Dude, my dad used to be a season ticket holder for football.
Your dad is the demise of the commercial appeal and Tiger basketball.
No, I'm not.
They're phasing out, bro. The gray hairs are phasing out.
I'm not kidding you on this. I'm pretty sure this past season, I think that we'll see when it rolls around, but I think last season that's my mom's last doing Tiger basketball.
Would she renew?
It's either Grizzlies or Tigers, and my mom would rather go to the Grizzlies games.
No.
And she used to.
My mom was a season ticket holder.
My mom's it's tough for her to go.
And they haven't done a good job of making sure the next generation
even
Tiger
worse
fans.
than losing my mom and possibly Roser's mom, when my kids never ask me about Tiger basketball.
Yep. Our moms go to every Grizzlies game together.
Right.
My generation might be the last one that's holding on a little bit.
My kids are hitting me with Halliburton chokes in the driveway.
Yeah.
They want to watch Anthony Edwards play. They love John Morant.
No, you're right.
My kids have never asked me about PJ Haggerty.
Hey, not once. Hey, I'm not kidding you. Mine have, because they're Memphis fans. Because my dad went to Memphis. I've always rooted for Memphis. I watch all the games, so that's what they grew up in. They had a college day at school. You get to wear a college, whatever. Williams said him and one other kid.
Had on Memphis. Everybody else was Ole Miss, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, Auburn. There was some, I mean.
It's hard to, like, the next generation's not really connected to it all.
A lot of Ole Miss, a lot of Tennessee, but he said him and one other kid had Memphis stuff on, and I'm like, that is crazy.
When I was Louis' age, I knew every Memphis basketball player and probably knew every Louisville basketball player and knew Bimbo Coles and everybody else.
Different world.
My kids do not know anything about Memphis basketball.
I want to ask you about college basketball world in general, because I see like the portal closed today, and you see a lot of guys go back. Like, are we going to see like better college basketball now?
Yes,
now that players can get money.
You've already seen it.
I was shocked that this many players pulled out of the draft because this is. I got it, but I mean, it speaks to like this draft. When you get that many guys that have pulled out, you ain't got that many in it, and there's 60 spots. Your odds are pretty good at getting drafted.
Well, like when you're talking about Otega-Oweh, Tahad Pettiford, LeBaron Philon, these are all guys who went back to SEC schools at the deadline. Those are all guys who would have probably been picked in the second round. So you got a second round pick. Like, those are guys you would have maybe taken, and they're just not there. So you're taking a lesser player.
Yep.
It's just money, and it's as simple as this. Otega-Oweh, let's just focus on him for a second. You are in the draft. You want to be a professional basketball player. You're at the combine, the whole deal. Here's the deal. It's all done now. Clock's ticking. You got to make a decision. You can stay in the draft, and here's what I can tell you. You'll be picked somewhere between 25 and 45, but I don't have any idea where between 25 and 45. If it's 25, you're going to be happy with your decision. If it's 32, you'll probably be happy with your decision. But if it's 45, you're getting into a range where you're signing a two-way contract for $578,000. I'm not. It could be you could sign a 3-year deal worth $6 million, and now we're pretty good. But it could also be a 1-year, $578,000 contract, two-way player. Yeah. You would then be. I can't even tell you where you're going to live. I can't tell you who's going to be your coach.
Going to be in South Dakota somewhere.
But you will likely alternate between sitting on an NBA bench, never playing, and a G League playing in front of 45 people. All right, on a streaming whatever.
Might say 40, 50,
all right.
40,
so that's
people.
option A if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Or you can go back to the University of Kentucky. They'll give you $2.5 million for 1 year. You'll be the best player in one of the biggest programs in the country. You'll play in front of sold-out arenas every night, national television, twice a week.
You on the graphics, you on the headboards.
What would any of us do?
I would definitely go back.
And
for sure.
And to your point, like when you're talking about the second round thing, like he had, even with the contract extension he signed, which is a 4-year deal with the Memphis Grizzlies, that kid you just mentioned is going to make more money than Gigi.
That's right. That's right.
Like Gigi signed a 4-year, $8.5 million deal.
Yeah, and Gigi,
with the Grizzlies.
And Gigi could make $4 million playing college basketball next season.
For
no problem.
Hell, easily.
No problem.
You just told me this kid's making he's going to make more money
maybe more
playing
than that.
for Arkansas for 30 games rather than the Grizzlies
Like
for
that's
82.
That's a hot kid that went back to Auburn. Like, remember Sharif Cooper?
Yeah.
I bet you Sharif would have wished he had NIL.
Yeah, Todd Pettiford got like around $2 million to go back to Auburn, and that's the other thing. It's 82 games as opposed to 30.
Yes.
I mean, it's really 40.
And
But like, whatever.
And they got the vibes,
And they're in college, and you get the
we
chicks,
get the vibes,
and
you get the girls.
Anybody
you know
who's
what I'm
ever played sports, tell me what's more fun: being the best player on your team or sitting on the bench.
Right.
All right.
Either one, really.
When any of these guys, Tahad Pettiford, Otega-Oweh, LeBaron Philon, they could all be the best players on their team next season in college.
Yeah.
And once they leave college, they will likely never be the best player on a team again.
You think David Roddy had more fun at Colorado State or in the NBA?
So to answer your initial question, yes, we're going to see better basketball. We already saw it. Last year, history of the KenPom database goes back to 97. 4 of the top 10 teams in terms of efficiency margins, all that, were the 4 Final Four teams last season.
Wow.
Here's what happens.
Well, and then there's one of the games. So you have to tell me about one of the games because I didn't get to see it because there was a storm in Memphis.
Here's the thing. Here's a perfect.
I heard it was good.
Not go down that road.
I heard it was good.
Here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
again.
Here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. In a pre-NIL and pre-transfer waiver, Kentucky is now having to replace its best player, Otega-Oweh, with some high school recruit. Instead, they bring him back their best player.
Yep.
All right? Think of Florida. They win a national championship. They bring back all the front court guys. They lose all the guards.
Yep.
In a different era, they would just be replacing their guards with the best high school players they can replace them with. As it is, they went out and got Boogie Fland.
Yep. Who would be a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, and Xavion Lee from Princeton, who's like a 4-year, already done it at a high level. Instead of having 18-year-old high school players plugging holes with them, you're plugging holes with 22-year-old guys who are awesome in college already.
I'm with it.
So you get better teams, you get better basketball.
Except for us.
Except for
GP, we can't. Hey, low key, I can't name you 3 Tigers. Not name Ashton Hardaway or Curtis Givens.
Yeah, this is.
Or
I'm not trying to set off panic
Doug.
buttons.
Doug who?
McDaniels.
Oh,
And
DUG.
But that's the other thing. That's the other thing you get.
And you did you say the Bradshaw kid?
Aaron Bradshaw.
Yeah, okay.
So you can name a lot.
Okay.
And Doug. And William Wharton.
Hey, William Wharton.
He don't count, bro.
What?
But if you are.
He just killed it at South Dakota State.
He got 3
1
points a
point-
game. Three.
Three.
Yeah, 3 as a jackrabbit.
That's a bucket.
He got no,
That's
but
a bucket and a half.
No, literally.
but and this sounds like piling on. I don't want it. I don't.
Hey, when I said that guy's a bucket, I meant
one a game. He's a bucket a game. He's a bucket a game.
That dude is a bucket.
But even like the
One
Doug
bucket.
McDaniels and Bradshaw stuff, like when you look at the high major players they got, like, they brought in some high major players who were good high school recruits. Doug McDaniel, when he's at Michigan, wasn't even allowed to play road games.
Wait, what? GP, hold on, bro.
Because of academics, they said, we can't let this guy travel because he won't do his work.
That's what we got on our team.
We don't care about work.
I know. It's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Oh, you're going to convince me.
This is the best place for you.
Yeah, for sure.
We enrolled Sean Banks back in the day.
There hadn't been anybody on that campus in 10 years.
And Aaron Bradshaw, like he was suspended last season for a domestic violence investigation.
What is happening?
No! It led to
no charges.
No charges.
Okay.
No charges.
Okay.
I'm just trying to speak factually.
Okay,
so even the two guys they went and got, the 2 talented guys, they both come with. They're the type of really talented guys that other programs go, yeah, we'll pass on that. Yeah.
This sounds like the kind of guys John Calipari used to have to try to take at Memphis.
It's how Memphis ended up with Sean Banks.
Yeah.
How did we get a top 20 player at the University of Memphis? We'll get the one that nobody else wants to touch because of all those reasons. Right. And then he ends up flunking out of school. Funny story, it's like he ends up like literally flunking out of school. And I remember talking to the staff, and I'm like, how do you flunk out of school at Memphis with all these tutors and stuff? He's like, bro, I'm not exaggerating. It got to the point with Sean Banks where we would literally walk him to class. We would meet him at his dorm or apartment, take him to class, walk him in the class, and stand by the door. But if you ever left, he would leave right after you. If you walked away 30 minutes into the class, like, okay, I guess we're good now. He's walking out in minute 31.
In the words of Cardell Jones, I came to play football. I ain't going to play school.
Or in the words of DeMarcus Cousins when the Kentucky's getting ready to play an Ivy League school, I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
In the NCAA tournament in the first round, they asked him about playing Ivy League school, and he said, they were like, how concerning is it playing an Ivy League school? And he's like, is this going to be a spelling bee? Or a basketball game?
I respect it.
Respect DeMarcus Cousins.
Yesterday was a spelling bee too, bro, by the way. Yesterday was a spelling bee. I would have been terrible at that. Yeah. You probably
I can't spell
Would
nothing.
you win a spelling bee?
No, I'm telling no. I get
out of GC and spelling bee. Who
I
win?
get spell checked on receive.
Me too.
I can't do it.
Yeah,
I never know the
C, the CIE.
And those
I before E,
except after C.
I got it, but it wears me out every time.
You can say that. You can say that 1,000 times, Rose, and I'm still gonna be like REIC.
We need to do a GC and Jessica would win.
Jessica would win it.
We should not do it.
Do you know what the most impossible one for me is? I still, every time, I still do it wrong. I don't know why. It's been like a mental block forever. I cannot spell exercise correctly.
Wait, why?
I just can't do it. I don't know.
He's going down the exorcism route instead of exercise.
I don't know if that's right.
EXERCISE. That's exercise.
Right. Yeah, it's. I always put the C.
I might win a spelling bee between us.
I always put the C.
You would cook a spelling bee?
No, I said I might cook y'all. I'm saying I would cook you.
So what? We're borderline.
Let's see who's the college basketball writer and who isn't. Spell Krzyzewski.
Oh, God. Yeah, go ahead.
KRZYZEWSKI.
He's practiced.
I've seen it before.
He knows.
KRZYZ.
Oh, like he's got a photographic memory. Shut up, idiot. I've seen it before. Oh, I saw it one time, and it is now locked in my brain.
I saw it in the newspaper that got delivered the other day.
He used to read it in the newspaper.
He read it in the
On
newspaper.
Daddy's lap.
Newspaper.
On Daddy's lap is crazy.
By the way, they do deliver print newspapers.
No, they don't.
No, but they deliver them through the U.S. Postal Service now, so you would get your commercial appeal whenever you would get your regular mail. But here's the problem. So say like Monday, we just had Memorial Day. Mail doesn't deliver that.
No.
So you'd get your Monday paper on like Tuesday afternoon whenever your mail comes.
So that means the old people are finding out about stuff a day late?
Or you'd get a Monday and Tuesday paper on Tuesday.
Go enjoy your weekend.
I gotta go. I can't be around
Are you
this
going to
anymore.
Italian Fest?
Yes. You want to go?
What day are you going?
Today.
Can you spell it?
Are you really going?
Can you spell Italian?
My buddy Scott Maines has got the big thing out there. Come out.
What time you slide?
I'm sliding around 4.
Dude, I might actually do it.
That's too early.
You know why? I have been called to be a.
That was going to happen.
You called it?
Yeah, I called that yesterday.
I'm taking
I was like, has he asked you to
You're taking the
take
kids? Yeah. He's going to Italian Fest. And I was like, so I have to drive you and drop you off and then pick you up? Last year, I got so depressed.
What did you do in between?
I drove across the street to Playa Bowl and ate a damn acai bowl in my car in front like a loser. And then I drove home and I'm like, I used to have fun.
You're saying the car ate it, bro?
Yeah, it ain't wanted to melt. I was like, this is rock bottom.
Yeah,
Let's go to Italian Fest.
I live 200 feet from Italian Fest.
You do?
Yeah.
So you sliding?
There. People park on the street.
Are you
park on the
sliding?
street. I can.
You slide?
I don't know.
Let's have a Grind City media.
I've got to take him.
I am 100% going.
I have to take him. Somebody just asked me if Scott Maines was in jail 2 days ago. And I was like, I don't think so.
Well, I hope not. I haven't heard from him.
Our boy Fish gonna be there too.
Yeah, Fish got 10.
Fish got 10 too. We vibes. Let's go.
I mean, I haven't heard from him in the past week.
Somebody asked me
You said you ain't heard from him in a week?
No, but it's like that's not normal. But I would hate to show up at his booth. I'll tell you for a booth. And then Scott's in jail.
He's in jail.
All right, let's take a break.
All right, let's see. We got a lot to figure out. We got a lot to figure out.
Last week, I gave you the update about my son Kevin in terms of having to choose.
Has he made the decision?
He picked Tennessee State.
Oh, my heart, Mike.
The next day, we got an email from the director of Tuskegee's program laying out everything that they were going to be doing. And he flip-flopped.
There we go.
He flip-flopped. So he's going to be going down to Tuskegee.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
You've seen the Grizz line jamming on the court and rocking out on Beale Street, and this is your chance to join the best drum line in the NBA. Grizz line entertains Grizz Nation at home games and events in the Mid-South through their impressive techniques and energetic shows. If you have experience in drumming and marching and love entertaining, Grizz line is the perfect opportunity for you to combine percussion and performance. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Sign up today by visiting grizzlies.com/auditions.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. and Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
For Jaren Jackson Jr. in 7 years to have the following resume is very impressive. Second team all defense this year. He's a 2-time All-Star. He's a 2-time first team all defense, 2-time leader in blocks, made the all-rookie first team back in his first year in the league.
You left off Defensive Player of the Year.
And Defensive Player of the Year.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
It's time! Let's go!
Bain drives.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead.
Yeah!
Jaren with a knockaway.
Good defense.
Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
Let's go, go! Let's go!
The Grizzlies, Grannies, and Grandpas have the right moves and are currently looking for new members to join their team for the upcoming season. These soulful seniors are a fan favorite group throughout Grizz Nation. You do not have to be a grandparent, but you must be at least 50 years old with personality, rhythm, and passion for performing. If that sounds like you, then we want to see you on Sunday, June 29th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information. Have you always dreamed of entertaining on the biggest stage in Memphis? The Claw Crew is looking for members to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. Claw Crew members are hardworking, high-energy entertainers who assist Grizzlies home games by hyping up the crowd and much more. Not only do they support the Grizzlies on home games, but also promote in Memphis and across the Mid-South. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information and to register today.
Welcome back to the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, back to your host, Chris
On one morning
Vernon.
bright and clear, my old folks and I drew near, just a village down in sunny Tennessee. I'd been speeding on that train that would bring me back again to that girl I left in sunny Tennessee.
Back, Chris Vernon Show. All right, so at least we are going to get a Game 6 in the Pacers-Knicks series coming up this weekend. Some of the crazy stats that were from that last night, like I mentioned, the one where it was the Brunson and Cat both scoring over 20 in the first 5 games, and that was Kobe, Shaq, and Elgin Baylor and Jerry West were the last two that had done that. The other one was this whole 10 games with 30-plus points and 5-plus assists. When they posted that one last night, did you see that? It was Jalen Brunson had done that. 30 points in one postseason. You had to have 30 points and 5 assists in at least 10 games. And it was LeBron 3 times, Jordan 3 times, Brunson and SGA this year.
Yeah, 3 times.
No, they've done it 10 times in this postseason. Now, those guys had done that 3 different postseasons. Yeah. Jordan and LeBron both, which is insane to think about.
Crazy.
Bro, you have to do that 3 times?
Yeah.
That's
10 games with 30 and 5?
That's nuts. Yeah.
I mean,
legendary.
So some of these stats are like obviously goofy when it comes out, right? It's like the first person to do this since that. And
that was crazy.
First situation to do this since that. Is crazy. All right, we need to talk about one of the most serious topics of the day, which is, and you had mentioned this to me before we went on the air, but mainstream media had not like picked it up yet. It was all just the TMZ Sports thing, and that can kind of just go by the wayside, right? It's like there's something salacious on there all the time. Bro, the top headline on ESPN right now, Lawsuit accuses Zion Williamson of rape, years of abuse. So it's not just this ain't just like this ain't just like a TMZ thing that's going on. A woman has accused New Orleans Pelicans forward Zion Williamson of rape in addition to sexual, physical, and emotional and financial abuse over the span of a multi-year relationship. According to a lawsuit submitted in the Los Angeles Superior Court yesterday. The woman, identified as Jane Doe, accuses Williamson of, quote, a continuing pattern of abusive, controlling, and threatening behavior over the course of the relationship that started during Williamson's freshman year at Duke and lasted from 2018 to 2023. The 12-page civil complaint obtained by ESPN says Williamson's alleged actions occurred in multiple states, including Louisiana and California. Then this is what Zion's attorneys say. We take these allegations with the utmost seriousness, and we unequivocally deny them. The allegations contained in the complaint are categorically false and reckless. This appears to be an attempt to exploit a professional athlete driven by a financial motive rather than any legitimate grievance. It is interesting. This is not like, it's not a criminal case, right? Like this was filed in civil court. Yeah. And so obviously if you are the attorney for Zion, you are going to present like, hey, this is a money grab. Yeah. She wants us to just settle this to make this headline go away. Mm-hmm. And so we'll see how this all plays out. It says, the attorneys noted that Williamson and the woman had a consensual, casual relationship that ended years ago, and that at no point during or immediately after that relationship did the plaintiff raise any concerns. So, again, this is the lawyer for Zion saying, like, hey, they haven't been messing with each other for 2 years, right? And 2 years later, she says this is all of the things that happened. I mean, again, they're trying to make her look like she's not telling the truth. And as we know with all of these things, right, in this day and age, there's always evidence. Yeah. Right? There is a streamline of text. There is a streamline of pictures that we're taking, you know what I mean? Like we find these to be true in many of the cases where even athletes have gotten in trouble. There will be the girl will have taken pictures of her injuries. The girl will have she will have correspondence of him saying, I'm sorry that happened last night. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the world we live in now. It is much, much, much more difficult for it to be a he said, she said. There's always a trail of this relationship, right? There is a trail of this relationship that took place. Unequivocally, there's a trail of this relationship. Yes. And you will be able to look into it, and you will be able to find if something nefarious took place in this relationship, right? Like if they go and they say, all right, fine, hand over your cell phones, right? You're going to know, especially if they were together for 5 years. Yes. Yeah. Right? For 5 years. And so it says they added that Zion Williamson had reported the woman's extortion attempts to law enforcement and that the two-time All-Star plans to file a counterclaim. So their point of view is that, hey, Zion, this girl has been trying to extract money from Zion Williamson. Like, you know, I guess they want to present it like, here's a girl that threatened to ruin him and have this headline out there unless he
spend the bread.
Yes. While these allegations are false, we recognize the seriousness of the claims and welcome the opportunity to prove the truth in court. We are confident that the legal process will expose the truth and fully vindicate Mr. Williamson. The Pelican spokesperson deferred comment to Williamson's legal team. I mean, look, in the end, it's the first line of the article, right? You have to get all the way to the end of the article to hear the explanation from the lawyers and to say, hey, here's what happened. Yes, they were screwing around with each other for 5 years. And then that stopped. And now she is doing this and this and this and whatever. It's the headline, Zion Williamson accused of rape. The first sentence, a woman has accused Zion Williamson of rape in addition to physical, sexual, emotional, and financial abuse over the span of a multi-year relationship. And then, you know, even as you go down, the lawyers are saying, like, they had a relationship. Like they say casual.
Casual. Yeah. We know what casual means.
Right. And
shout out to the YG.
And so, anyways, now the headline is out there now, and we will see. Like again, you've got to. Yes, this is either going to be either Zion Williamson has done something extremely dastardly, or Zion Williamson is being falsely accused of doing something extremely dastardly. And we have just been through so many of these in the world of sport, where people's lives have been ruined, right? Sure. Some have done horrible things, and they have been proven to have done horrible things, and some have been proven to have not done the horrible things in which the headline said they did.
But
right?
sometimes the headline does a lot of damage, boy.
Right.
A lot of damage to their public image when you see that headline pop up. Because the fundamental person in this world, we know how this goes. People don't read.
No.
People don't read stories. That headline is going to hit.
I was thinking about it the other day because I'm holding my hand up. Honestly, I have no idea what's happened with it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other day when you remember there was like this 24-hour span where everybody, the Drewski stuff was everywhere.
Oh, yeah, with
and then it said that they weren't even, it was like before he became famous then.
He was
and
like living with his mom back then.
But again, there was the 24 hours where it was like, I knew Drewski was a dirtbag, and I knew it was like, wait, I don't know
what was there about Drewski?
He had gotten accused as well.
Parties. I just remember the white face thing.
No,
that was funny.
That was a joke. That
no,
was funny.
he had gotten accused of
some stuff,
abuse as well.
Yeah. Like recently.
But it was, and again, it's the head, like right, like if you right now there is an online conversation that's going on with Zion that is. Again, if you didn't do it, my God. If you did, then you're
a freako.
You are worthy of all scorn, right?
Yeah.
And so we'll see how that one plays out in court. But boy, that one did get picked up from
it didn't take long.
TMZ Sports,
Look,
right?
We was talking about it at 11:45.
Yep.
By 1:30, it's a headline, boy.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Big 12. The Big 12 has this Brent Yormark, who is the one that did not invite Memphis. He's reiterated his support for the 5+11 playoff model, and he said today that even though the Big 10 and the SEC are leading the discussions, those conferences have a great responsibility that goes with it. Over the past several days, for those that do not know, momentum has grown for an expanded 16-team playoff that would feature the 5 conference champions as automatic qualifiers and 11 at-large teams, a model Yormark presented when the Power 4 commissioners met recently in Charlotte, North Carolina. Another model that's been presented includes 4 automatic qualifiers for the Big 10 and the SEC, 2 each for the ACC and the Big 12, and 1 for the Group of 5 team. Both the Big 12 and the ACC are obviously against that model, right?
Yeah.
And so, look, I mean, I don't understand why you have to expand to 16.
I don't.
You
either.
fixed the seating on the 12.
Yeah.
12 was good.
Yeah, that's a perfect number.
12 was good.
More money, man.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. We wanted so badly, like a college football playoff. It stunk.
It did. It stunk.
Because it was what? Too many games.
Too many games.
It stunk.
It's too many games. Like, give me about 2 rounds, bro. I'm straight.
It stunk.
Yeah, it was bad.
And maybe that was just a 1-year deal, but I mean, for as long as we have dreamed about that, and then we got it, it was like, this is lame.
Yeah.
It's one good game.
We were tired. We were exhausted by it.
We're exhausted by it.
And now you're trying to add more. It's 16. I don't need 16.
The NCAA tournament's trying to do the exact same thing.
Oh, my God.
We don't need like the fringe.
I've seen John Rothstein's going to have a protest in Central Park.
So funny.
He's kidding.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
But
like, we don't need like the super fringe bubble team making the NCAA tournament.
Oh, no, dude. The idea that is not capped at 68 is insane.
Come on,
yeah.
We're already got the stupid play-ins where you have to get your bracket done 2 days early.
Yeah, because you got the 9.
That's what I resent.
Yeah.
I resent not having until Thursday to get my bracket in.
And we see some of these teams that are in, and we're like, they're not good.
And you know who ruined?
Not good teams.
And a couple teams ruined that. Like VCU ruined it. UCLA ruined it.
Yeah.
Because you had to have the play-in game picked because the damn teams made the Final Four.
Right.
And so now it's like, oh, you got to have your bracket in by Tuesday. Like, dude, they just announced it Sunday night. Give me some time to figure out who South Dakota State has.
Yeah.
Hey, they got one guy's now the Tiger.
William Wharton.
William Wharton.
Shout out
We should have
William
watched him play last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like more games, more teams, bro. Less teams. Because more bull crap gets in when you open the door.
Yep. 12 was fine.
It's like sinners, bro.
12 was fine.
Yeah, 12 was perfect.
And just fix the seating.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, we don't need that. I got some semi-Grizzlies news before we go out of here. Did you know, Verno, Vegas Insider has done a poll. It is named the Memphis Grizzlies the third most depressed fan base. What, is it depressed fan base? Let me make sure I get this right.
Vegas Insider?
In the NBA's most negative fan bases, the Grizzlies are fourth. Put it up, Jalen.
Oh, wow. Fourth?
We're the fourth most negative fan base in the NBA.
No, second.
Oh, that's the vulgar comments. We have the second most vulgar comments, percentage of vulgar comments on Twitter.com. And the other one is the most negative fan base. 30% of our comments online about the Grizzlies are negative.
I believe that.
I also believe that.
Yeah, dude.
So we're the fourth.
And that has been a recent thing. It did not used to be like this.
Fourth most negative, second most vulgar.
No.
And you know the word of choice that Grizzlies fans use, they all have that. What word do you think Grizzlies fans use the most on Twitter?
Hate?
No.
Oh.
It's a 4-letter word.
The F word?
The F word.
Grizzlies fans use the F word?
F word. I said that's the most frequently used word for Grizzly fans on Twitter.
I'll be damned. I don't disagree with
they
that.
really hated this season.
Like,
they did. Like fans, social media, fans not on social media.
It got dark.
It got real dark.
It did. And they fight each other.
They do.
All the time.
It's like a war every day. Like, it's like what? It's
usually
June 30th, bro. There's nothing to talk about.
No,
and people are fighting.
No, usually the fans are on the same side.
No, they fight each other, bro.
Well, I've seen some of it.
Not as much. I'm saying in these other teams.
Oh, yeah. You see it. No, our fans do this.
No, our fans fight.
No, it's happening. It's leaked into my For You page. There's the Ja crowd and the Jarrett. There's the pro-Ja, anti-Jaren, the pro-Jaren, anti-Ja.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've been fighting recently.
Yeah.
Is that right?
There's the pro-Jaren. They blame Ja for ruining Jaren's All-NBA chances.
I didn't know this is happening. I'm glad.
That's how we make this list.
I'm glad I didn't know this was happening.
And the pro-Ja say Jaren's he shouldn't be that level anyway. You don't need to pay him that much money anyway, so it's actually a good thing. And then the Jaren people are like, yeah, well, like, shut the hell up and actually play some games. And the job people are like, shut the F up. You're better when we actually do play. And then it's just blah, 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 F this, F that.
How about you want Starting Spaces then about it?
Wow.
Starting Spaces then.
Spaces is his world. I'm not in that world. I don't know the Spaces world.
But no,
I just see the For You stuff.
Fourth most negative fan base in the NBA. Wait, put that up again. Who's number one through three?
We can't even win that.
Mavericks, of course, I understand. You traded your best player. Celtics, Timberwolves, and us.
Yeah.
What are the Timberwolves fans mad about?
Hi, I don't buy that. Philly's below us. Come on.
Yeah, they hate.
They
hate their
that
team too.
And look at the other teams. Cleveland? Come on. Cleveland just won 64 games.
They're Frankus.
Yeah, dude. Like
I don't agree with the methodology of this.
You don't think they did the right method?
I mean, I buy the results, but I would question the methodology without knowing it.
Like Gilly.
It's obviously super scientific.
Like the Gilly stuff is getting passed around because he's like, he told Paul George to his face, basically. And it's like, dude, like, there are thousands of Sixers fans who would absolutely do that to Paul George's face.
Yeah, that was not a random encounter.
No, that wasn't. What do you think is the most? I guarantee you could. I will put $100 on the line right now. You can guess the most positive fan base. The easiest answer.
Oklahoma City.
Oh,
Rosa,
just think about
the Pacers, the Jazz,
the Utah Jazz.
There's no way. How are they positive about that?
Come on, bro. It's the Mormon community, man. They ain't mean to nobody.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Enjoy the weekend. Do we think there's going to be a Game 7 on Monday?
No.
No.
I think this is similar to the last series, that Pacers or the Knicks Celtics. Remember, Knicks lost in Game 5, and then they went back home and they took care of business.
I think they closed it out. Pat McAfee on the microphone, MCing. I think they closed it out. Well, by the way, Rosa, they said that Minnesota fans are mad because they haven't won a championship at all in any sport.
Oh.
Ever.
Ever.
Okay.
And like they're like 0-10 in conference.
Well, they won the Twins. The Twins won.
Yeah,
the World Series.
like
But rest in peace, Kirby Puckett.
I know, right? Shout out Torrey Hunter.
What? Jalen said, Vernon, I didn't know you had bunnies. Yeah.
Look at that 2-inch vertical from Chris Vernon.
That door frame's over 9 feet.
TJ McConnell ass bunnies.
That door frame's over 9 feet. Look at my bunnies, though.
That was weak. That
what?
was weak.
I bet you can't touch it.
Touch what? What'd you
That
even
door
touch?
frame. The door frame.
Play it again, Jalen.
Play it. It's over 9 feet. Slap that thing, brother. Look at that. Bang.
I don't know about slapping.
Hops.
That was a little grazed.
Plus, I'm about 17 years older.
I got
That's
hops.
true. That's true. You are 17 years old.
Yeah.
No,
Kyle Anderson.
No, he does not have hops. Old man, that guy. See y'all at Italian Fest.
All right. We'll be back on Monday. Until then, we gone.